Cruz Combat is a proud sponsor of the Combat Jiu-Jitsu 2020 Lightweight World Championships. Our custom high-end performance apparel is worn by combat athletes around the world. With performance pieces designed to last a lifetime, our graphics never fade, crack, or peel. Cruz Combat apparel isn't just made for the mat. Our lifestyle line features dozens of unique designs printed on the softest, most durable fabric out there. And we do custom designs, any quantity, big or small. Order your Cruz Combat gear today.
Zach Maslany now making his way to the stage. Maslany in the black and white. 666 expect fireworks, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. It's Zach from 10th Planet Bethlehem.
10th Planet Bethlehem.
Veritable dream team of killers.
Him and JM
Yes, sir.
holding down the fort at 10th Planet Bethlehem.
Great technique. He's
a beast. He's a savage.
excellent coaches, I have to say. Great guys, JM and Zach.
That's a beautiful.
Great guys, JM and Zach.
Veritable dream team of killers.
He's a beast. He's a savage.
It's Zach from 10th Planet Bethlehem.
10th Planet Bethlehem. That's 10th Planet Bethlehem. It's a bit.
Great technique. It's
10th Planet Bethlehem.
Welcome to Zach's Corner podcast. What up, everybody? We're back for another episode. It's Wednesday, midweek, sometime in February, Middle Earth area, location unknown. And we are here ready to get our shit together and get moving, man. I cursed within 2 seconds of the podcast, but sorry guys. But yeah, I don't even know whether I'm coming or going half the time, dude. I'm super pumped for everything that's going on at the school and, you know, in my personal life and everything, man. I'm just super excited. And I just can't wait to do whatever I want to do. And I'm just like a guy who is just, sorry, I don't know what that was. But that's what I mean. Shit's just coming out of me. You know, just, man, I'm getting into some weird stuff again. The whole election thing happened. Biden cheated and now we're just, we're living in these weird times. Are allowing weird shit to happen. But you know what? We can't, Joey Diaz said it a long time ago. They're not giving out 20s at the White House. So, we got to just keep making moves as we did through the whole entire coronavirus pandemic. And, we're coming out on top of it. Did we lose money? Yeah. Did we get hurt? Yeah. But you know what? During that time, I was definitely pissed. I was freaking out and I was mad because, and the reason why I was mad is because I like the fact that America is supposed to allow you to just, it's up to you. You have to go and do it yourself. You have to make something out of yourself. Some people are just dumb lucky or whatever, but if you really want to make something out of yourself or get something somewhere, I feel like that was one of the benefits of being born in this country, like lucking out, hitting the lottery and being able to just live and do things free and start your own business and work hard for a job and move up the ladder and become a CEO or whatever the hell you want to do, or become an athlete or whatever. You could do that in whatever you want to do. And I felt like when the shutdowns happened, that kind of just put everything in perspective, where you just can't do everything you want to do. And those are guys who were out working hard and were out doing stuff were kind of just like, excuse my French, but sitting around with their dick in their hand, just being like, what the fuck am I going to do now? Like, I can't do what I got to do. And, it affected a lot of people's mental health, not being able to go to the gym, not interact with other people. And yeah, obviously, we talk a lot of shit, but we all know it was the flu and, it was just a little bit of a worse version from the flu. And, I was affected by it by a month, but listen, all the different things I could go over and over again about how we had all these tournaments and we went all these places and we traveled and we seen all this stuff and Tom Brady didn't wear a mask and blah, 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 blah. It's like, guys, shut the fuck up. Just use some common sense for Christ's sake and see that nothing has really changed in the fact that, people are going to die and bad things are going to happen, but we got to live our lives. Sure, we got to be a little more careful. And I think everybody at the school has been insanely careful. We've been open this whole fucking time. And people, if they're sick, they stay home. They're smart. They don't want to get anyone else sick. It's just like, when you're doing that, and that's the difference. At work, they would force you in to come to work when you're sick and feel like shit, get everybody else sick, but you didn't really give a shit because it was work and it sucked and the people treat you like shit there anyways. But at the gym And at the jiu-jitsu school, it's a totally different vibe. Everybody there is really cool, and everybody's not just out for themselves. They're in it to help with each other. You know, that's one of the biggest complaints I hear from new guys, Mike, is they're like, well, I don't want to start. And you probably said this to me too, not to call you out, but my cousin has said it. Everybody has said it to me. They're like, well, and every new guy almost, even guys who are really good right now, have said to me like, you know, I don't want to jump in there because I don't want to waste anyone's time because I'm not that good, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, but you don't understand. That's how the guy gets good teaching. And then that's how also you get good, because that's how jiu-jitsu school works. We all lend the helping hand and we just pull you up the ladder kicking and screaming. Even if you're getting your ass kicked the whole time, you know, we're just going to be still dragging you through. And then all of a sudden you see these unbelievable transformations from people. But anyways, like, but that's how you do it. So it's like, that's an excuse out the window. You just start and you just jump in there and everyone helps each other. And that atmosphere is different. So I feel like people, if they're sick, they're not going to come in and get everyone sick at the dojo, because they care about everybody at the dojo, because everybody at the dojo cares about them. You see the difference? You know what I mean? At work, no one gives a fuck. They're like, yo, if we fire him, screw it, lose his job, take away his bonus, you know, not pay him hazard pay when they're, you know, I've heard of stories of companies getting money for hazard pay, and then the people in the office kept the money, and then everybody else who was out there out there working in the field actually needing the hazard pay, even though, you know, it's not as crazy, but they're the ones not getting, dude, it's constant ripoffs. You know, I remember when my old job took away our Christmas bonus, all that stuff. So you don't care. Like, so if you got to go in sick because you don't have any more vacation days and you got bills to pay, you're going to go in sick. I know, granted, it is your work and that's how you make a living, but the gym is just different. There's a different atmosphere there. So people, you know, people actually give a shit. So, you know, you be smart about all this stuff. I don't even know where I was going with all that, but what I was going to say, the stuff I'm getting into now, like during that time, and I know people had already told me about this, and a lot of people had read these books already, and I never brought the Stoics books online, right? Ryan Holiday, did I bring those on? I talked about them for sure. The Stoics, the Daily Stoic. My wife got me a book. My wife got me a book for Christmas, and she said it was her favorite book to get me, but it's called The Daily Stoic. In the morning, I purposely wake up early so I can spend some time with her before she leaves for work. I walk the dogs, and we usually get to have a little coffee together while she's eating breakfast, getting ready to go in. And I usually read her the Daily Stoic, you know, thing. And mostly, you know, to give a brief synopsis on the Stoics in a minute, which is impossible to do, but if I could, what I would say about them is their whole main idea is if it's not in your immediate control, it doesn't matter. You can't beat yourself up over it. Like, for instance, like, you know, if in a month from now something's going to happen, but you're not sure whether it's going to happen or not, and you're just fucking beating yourself up, and then a month from now it doesn't. This happens a lot. I see people get upset about something, or they're all worried, and then the thing doesn't even come to fruition. It doesn't even happen. So they wasted all that negative energy on worrying and stressing, and it's just bad for your body and bad for the vibes in general, and then eventually it freaking beats the shit out of you, and then it doesn't happen, and it's like a huge letdown. Or like it's like you don't even get that like release, if you will, because nothing happened. You didn't even get to get mad at anything like that. It just fucking happened, and it sucks. Like, so to give a synopsis on the Stoics, like, you know, there's ones that are just like, hey, you know, it's okay to say no. There's all these different lessons that they learned, and you know, it's crazy how, you know, it works for today. And that's why I got in, you know, I know people told me about it, but it was a perfect time for me to get into. You know, when I was on the come up, I was reading more books like the War of Art, which I should do like Joe Rogan did and just give those out. And then I was reading The Obstacle is the Way. That's another one. Those are things like you need to do to like break through the building, you know, the blocks of creativity and like really get to work. I feel like right now, like I don't need to read books like that because I'm beyond that point. I'm beyond the, you know, I'm beyond the, I almost broke the mic. I'm beyond the point of I need motivation. Like I got motivation out the ass. So I got to sleep on my stomach. So that way I don't mess up my sheets. That's how much motivation I have coming out my ass. So I don't want to, you know, like I don't want to not waste time, but I don't need to read books on like how to get through hurdles. Like I'm beyond that point, thankfully. And I'm not trying to be like boastful or anything, but I've broken through that. Before I had to, when I first quit my job and I was sleeping a lot, I was training hard, but I wasn't like, I needed to break through that like motivation to be able to get shit done and get the shit done. Another lesson is like to be able to say no, get the shit done that actually makes me money, that actually forwards the progression of the art that I'm working on. Like if it's not making me money and it's not bettering my jiu-jitsu or helping my family, then I don't want nothing to do with it. All right. The business link, the business email's in the bio, as they say. Hit me up, but I'll get to that email eventually. But if we're not ready to do, and listen, it's not like I'm not going to talk to people who I'm not making money with, but I only have so much time. And I want to work with people who are like me, who are trying to, push the bill, move forward, better themselves, live healthier, and raise children in a atmosphere where I think like things need to change. That's a whole nother aspect. But at that time during coronavirus, when I was super pissed and I wanted to get back into like breaking shit and like going downtown and, just jumping in there and like, spray painting cars and being mad at people
Project
for whatever.
Mayhem.
Exactly. I was ready to bust out Project Mayhem. They were even making memes about it and stuff. Like we were like, we're going to have the governor like, allegedly, I shouldn't even say that because I'm going to get flagged again because I'm already got 1 million flags. They're throwing more flags at me than a Super Bowl. So I got into the Stoics during that point, and I still read that every day because they're great reminders of just to let things go, to just like, okay, there's nothing I can do. Like you got a ticket or whatever. You got like, you ran over something with your car, which I just did, or something happens and you just go, okay, there's right now, like freaking out about it is there's nothing reacting emotionally. There's nothing I can do about that. Sometimes we're talking, you do have to get pissed off and go down and like shove people around and shit like that. Not shove them around physically, but like, tell people like, hey, I mean business. I need to get this done. It has to be done. And eventually you can't just be like, well, let it go. I'll be stoic about it and I'll have to let that go. And it eventually happen because it won't. The guy might not get it done unless you go down there with a cattle prod and say, hey, listen, unless this gets done, I'm going to come back here. I can either help you or we can hurt you. Okay. We got a lot of people and a lot of different, we're going to have some guys, you go to the wrong restaurant in Easton and one of the guys there has a black eye. You might think twice like, uh-oh, why does that guy have a black eye? Maybe he works out at Finishers. I don't know. I kind of pissed off the Finishers guys and that guy fucking blows his nose in your, oysters or whatever. I don't know. Wherever you're working, wherever you go, you might want to be careful. You see that Finishers tag? It says payback for those who hated on me. What else? But now I'm starting to, now that I think we're over that. And like I said, Biden cheated and it's, America is what it is now. Nothing has really changed for me yet. I'm sure taxes are going to go up and, the Republican guys are like, they're going to crash the economy. And it's like, maybe they will. But even when they crashed the economy last time, only certain industries were affected. A lot of other people were like, when was it? I'm like, don't you remember, guys, the housing market crash? And people were like, I don't really remember that. I'm like, yeah, because it didn't affect you. It only affects certain people. That's like the small business thing where people are like, people need to just shut up and do what they said. It's not affecting you. You're not affected by this whatsoever. You've been collecting more money to stay home and drink wine all fucking day.
Getting paid and collecting unemployment, sitting on your couch, drinking wine, and then telling people to stay home.
Yeah. Those people really need to go stop complaining about not getting paid and not having food. What a bunch of asshole degenerates. But that's the media for you.
You have employees.
What a jerk off. Oh, dude, those restaurants really should close around Christmas. Those kids don't need stuff. So it's, it's whatever, but.
And then the same people having multiple people over for Thanksgiving and going out of town.
Yeah. Those people really need to stay in. Where are you? Oh, I'm at a restaurant in Maryland. Huh? What?
We can't teach.
Huh?
Yeah,
it boggles the mind. But you know what, though? Those are the people that are sitting around just waiting for something to complain about. I don't even have time for that. I'm not getting in fights with guys. I just don't have time for it. I just want to keep working on what I'm working on. Anything right now that I feel is not healthy or positive or one of my buddies just wanting to talk, for fun, like, just to reminisce on stuff. I love that crap. So trying to, like, connect with some of my buddies from high school, making sure I talk to my family. One of my great aunts passed away, R.I.P. Aunt Teresa. She had cancer and stuff. She was like in her 90s, but like it was one of my grandmother's sisters. So like I did get to see, unfortunate circumstance, but I did get to see some of my family I haven't seen in a while. Went to the church that I went to when I was a kid, so that was pretty cool just to be in there. When when you're a kid, you think things are like huge. You're like, this place is endless, but then when you walk in, you're like, oh, it really wasn't that big. Like I used to play basketball against my cousin in my grandmother's kitchen. Like with a basketball hoop on the door, and we'd be dunking and smashing into the window and stuff. And
always ended in getting in trouble.
Yeah, and she didn't really. My grandmother was cool though. She was like, all right, let him, beat shit up. Who cares? We weren't really trashing anything. That was more my dad's style. Like, hey, get that out of the fucking door! You're gonna crash through the whole goddamn thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. That shit. And you're just like, it'd be playing for a while, and he'd be sitting there watching TV. Nothing would be happening, and he'd be like, shh. And then all of a sudden, someone would go up. Like I'm finally get like a breakaway going for a dunk, and then my one brother would just, instead of trying to like block the shot, he would just shove me in the body. Yeah. So you have no control over what's about to happen. And when you're a kid, like 100 pounds, you go flying into the door, and like I remember one time my rib cage hit the door handle, and I was like, oh, and I like went down, the door slammed, and then right away you see my dad on the recliner just come flying up, and I'm like, I just quick go in the bathroom and close. I just crawl in the bathroom and close the door, and then the other guys are like
taking a shit.
Yeah, they quickly like open the back door and run. So like he probably gets into the room, and just like the back curtains are swinging and no one's in there. He's like, son of a. It's like Homer Simpson, dude. He's like, I'm going to find him.
The worst thing we did, do you remember when they came out with those, it's like a beach game where it's Velcro and a tennis ball?
Yeah.
We decided to do that in the living room. And my parents' living room with this big bay window. It's like when you drive by the house, like that's what you notice is the big window. 2 panes. And we're throwing it back and forth. My brother said something to me, and I threw it as hard as I could at his face, and I missed, and it went through the fucking window.
Ooh, broke the window?
Yeah, like, and looking at it now, like that's a couple $1,000 fix.
I would have lost my fucking mind if my kids I
immediately just started crying because I knew there was a beating coming. I knew my mom was going to lay into me, and they just slowly walked into the room, and they were like, what's going on? And then I was like, I think I just hit the plant. The plant fell. And then the ball sitting between the 2 panes of glass. And that's burned into my head. Like, that's how scared I was.
Yeah. I just remember, stuff always, it's just amazing what happens.
Yeah,
like I remember
3 brothers, man.
Yeah. We're in the backyard one time, or what friend's backyard, and at the end of the game, I don't know why my cousin wasn't there for this, but me and my cousin used to do this all the time. At the end, we would always take whatever the worst ball is, or just any ball that we didn't want, and just send it. And my brother Mike used to do it too. We call it sending it. And then like if it was a tennis ball, you'd like one guy'd be on his knee and like bounce it, and the other dude would just be with like a tennis racket, just Jose Canseco it like yards deep. So you have no idea where it went. But like all of a sudden you'd hit it and you'd be like, oh, like he got a hold of that one. And all of a sudden you'd hear and like a dog barking or something because it like went off. Someone's like, imagine like chilling, like watching TV and your dog is chilling there, and then a tennis ball or like one of those hard balls just blast off your sliding glass back door.
Yeah, what would you? You're a dog owner.
I'd freak out, dude. I get it.
You kids.
I come rolling on the ground with the cig, like ready to shoot somebody or something. I don't know. But one time there was just neighborhood kids, and there was like 4 of us, and he was like, yo, let's hit this ball out. And it was a hard pink rubber ball that you would play like red butt with. And I remember I was like, all right, I'll pitch it underhand, but kind of fast. And he had like a Louisville metal bat. Oof. It was like a smaller one though for like a little kid. And he was like a T-ball bat. He's like, I'm just going to club that ball as hard as I can. And we were at like his grandma's house because it was right on Washington. I think the kid's name was like Kevin Klein or something. And I remember like throwing it like a softball, but like throwing it underhand, but pretty quick. And he just wound up to swing and hit it, and it just tipped it. And it like was like a hard foul backwards. And there was nobody behind him, like as the catcher. So he fouled it backwards and just went whoop right through a window, right through like the back people's window, like his grandma's window. And I just heard her, what the? And he just came over to it. He's like, yo, all right, see you, bro. Because he knew like he had to go in. Like he was like, oh, sorry, man. You know, and it's like, because we had to start running, and then he had to go in and explain, like accidentally threw the ball through the thing. But that happened a bunch, man. That happened a bunch. You're going to break shit, dude. You're going to break it. But, what I was going to say is I was getting all off on the Stoics. But then the next thing I'm starting to get into is what I was asking you if you ever heard of the book The Secret. Now, you guys are going to think I'm crazy because The Secret is one of those things where like you're like, okay, like that's what they tell people. And I see it's just like Q. You know how people got really deep into Q and you just felt bad for them? You're like, oh man, like we have to be on the air of keeping them, our minds open to like, hey, maybe there is an underground cabal eating babies, raping kids. Because there kind of is, though. If you look at Epstein Island and stuff, I mean, it's like half truths. So you're not sure exactly what the fuck to believe anymore. But the Q thing got totally insane. And they thought that, like I said, Hulk Hogan and Trump were going to come out and arrest Biden on Inauguration Day and everything. So people got really into that and they made their whole life about it because they didn't have anything else going on. So The Secret did that to people too. Like The Secret is one of those things like, and I don't know, I'm sure there was some type of money scheme with it, but you pay money and then they tell you like, hey, like here's the thing. And it used to be on Netflix. And then there was a movie they made about it, but it was a book. And I remember a lot of people had it and they really believe in it. Now, do I believe in The Secret? Kinda, not really. But some things I do believe in because I do believe in, frequency and vibes and like these mental, different planes of existence, I guess. I don't even know how to explain it. It sounds terrible when I do because it sounds like it's more conspiracy theory shit, but it really isn't. When you're vibing, I guess I could say on like a certain level with like positivity and just the way you're acting and like being nice to people. And like now I'm even, and it's making me a better person because now I'm even thinking like people that I would get normally pissed at, like at FedEx, I was going to blow up in that if I have time. But I was like, you know what? I'm not going to get too mad at the people on the phone. I'm just going to let it go, whatever. So it's kind of making me a better person. But what this, because I want to be on that vibration level. I don't want to be on a mad, I'm pissed off all the time vibration level because it's negative. It brings negativity to you. And The Secret would just be like, hey, if you just believe it, it'll happen. So if you're like, but it gets to the point where, again, people take it in the wrong way. Like, if I just think $50,000 in a check, I'm going to, I might just think of money and I'll just get a check in the mail in 2 weeks for 50 grand because someone sent it to me. And it's like, it doesn't work like that. You know what I mean? You don't just get free shit. Like you can't go, okay, I'm going to put up a bulletin board and I'm going to put a Lamborghini on it because I'll get that. And I want a mansion. So I'm going to put that up and I want a pool and I'm going to put a picture of that up. And I want to have, big muscles. So I'll put that up. And it's like, you can't just think it and it's going to happen. You can think something in your mind and vibrate on a certain, like positivity, like I want this. And it's like one track mind, but also like not wanting it so bad where it's like the only thing you want, but like wanting something in that area. And eventually I believe you will get it if you work hard for it. So it's a trick, but it's not. It's like you're doing the actual, you're thinking about it. You think that you want it. And you're going to do anything you want to get that. And if you do the right things, eventually, if you keep believing it, you'll get it. But in the midst of also believing in it, you're fucking working hard. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I didn't realize I was doing that till a couple of years ago. And then I just thought I was like, oh, I can picture stuff and get it done. And then it was like, exactly what you explained it. You want something bad enough. It's weird to explain it this way, but there's a point where I can put something in the front of what I'm going after and leave it there. I'm like this. I've been after this for fucking 12, 15 fucking years. Same thing with you guys and finishers. Yeah. Like, that's why when I see what you guys are doing with that school, it's like some people are like, cool. I'm like, no, man. Like, I see it from a different perspective of like, hats off to you fucking too. Yeah. But like, that's the thing. You had that. You wanted it. The whole I mean, how many times did we talk about a bigger space? Well, but 3 years ago, we were in that hotel room talking about, man, if we had our own place, we wouldn't have to do all this shit with the venues and all that shit. Fast forward to now. You can make it go faster and you can make things really happen in your life if you're living the right way. That's really what the bottom line is. If you're constantly bringing negativity into your life, it's just going to find, like, if you're like, man, this fine. I don't even want to say it, but if you're just like, I've heard this from so many people, like, I just can't get ahead. Anytime I get money, I lose it. Anytime I, whatever it happens, because that's because you're bringing it in to like, you just one thing after another. But even if those things happen, you can look at it differently and just, it doesn't affect you then mentally
the way it normally would if you just invited that in and just were like, fuck, I got a fucking flat tire. Great. It's so fucking day's ruined. I'm fucking bullshit, man. Every time I get extra money and I work and I get extra dough and then my fucking car's fucked up. But yeah, that's going to happen. That used to happen to me all the time. But my job was negative. My relationship was negative. I was drinking a lot. I was not eating healthy. I mean, dude, how many fucking negative things you want? They're
always there.
Yeah. The little things were just like the overhand right to knock you out. But yeah, they're always going to be there. But how you react towards them is it. If you just emotionally, you know what I mean? You know, then it's not going to work. You know, like, believe me, when I go and I have to like get angry at a person or like go into a business and be pissed at somebody and get what I want, it's calculated. I'm not going in there like a wild man throwing shit. I'm going in there stern and scaring them a little bit, but I'm also telling them like, yo, dude, like, you know, I'm not looking for anything extra. This is just a fair shot. I paid you to do thing, or I'm coming back here. There's going to be a but like I just have to do that to like, but besides that, dude, you can react to anything the way you want. And that's the beauty of the powers. It's totally up to you. You can react to any situation you want. Like, sure, obviously, if you have something like a family member dies, like you got to grieve and I'm not saying just, you know, fucking, you know, your parents die in a car accident. You're just like, don't bother me. I'm stoic. Fuck it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Whole family's dead. Nope. Got to do my work. Obviously, you have to take time and grieve, and you have to have emotions. You have to show emotions. You know, that's really important too. But when something happens, you can go, fuck. But then you can also go, okay, how are we going to rectify this? Like most people, when I tell someone a problem, their first thing is go to the most negative thing that could possibly happen. Yeah. I could be like, I have a pimple on my hand. Someone's be like, you know, you could look at it one way, like, oh, okay, that's going to go away in a day or two. If I just put the right stuff on it, I'll take care of it. And then mentally, you're healing yourself. You've heard stories of people like thinking they have something so bad, they eventually have it. Or how about that guy, Wim Hof? He can do things with his mind enough that he can control his body temperature when he's in freezing cold, because it is on your mind. Joey Hawes and doing the Wim Hof shit, I'm going to have him back. Like, that's huge, man. Now I feel like I'm at a point, I'm making all these strides, you know, business wise. Like, I'm far from making a lot of money, but I'm doing okay to feed my family, but I want to do even better. And just hunting for money isn't a bad thing, but I'm doing, you know, I feel like I'm doing it the right way. And now I'm going to get into more stuff like that. The power of the way I control my, the mental game, you know, what's your, you know, how do you control your mind? You know, like every day, if you're like, oh, I can't fucking this or nothing, you know, like we were talking about, like I was on the phone with that guy, Joe DeSena from, the Spartan races. Like, dude, if a deal goes down, it might not, but if a deal goes down with them, and I'm going to just keep thinking it's eventually going to go down, but if they try to rip off my idea or whatever, and they do their own thing, whatever, it is what it is. I'm not going to be like, oh my God, that was my one break. I'll catch another break. I really feel I will. And I really feel you can, even so powerful with your body, you can just be like, oh, my wrist is most people, and they can't do anything. They're out for 2 weeks. Oh, I hurt my knee, whatever. But I've seen literally guys that are in their 40s and 50s with fucking injuries to their knees, neck, whatever, and they're still doing jiu-jitsu, and they're still moving, and they're still able to get, and not injuries from jiu-jitsu, just from life, like had bad backs, and they're in there doing shit. You know, it's you can change things with your mind. How do guys, there's no way you can train for a 25-minute fight and be in that good a shape. How do guys get through that and keep moving? It's mental. So people, what I'm telling you is get your mental game up. I need a lot of work on this shit, but I'm really going to work on that. Like, I'm doing Audible. It's your mindset, bro. But let me check, what this book is on Audible that I just started listening to. And it's called The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles, and this is an old book too, and I just started it, and it's interesting. It's like, you know, you can't believe everything you can't be like poo everything you hear, you know, that kind of thing. There's something to that. Like if you're thinking about money and you're just putting money around a lot, like let's say you got a couple bucks, like I like to do this trick, like I put a couple, you know, get some cash and I keep some in my wallet, right? And then I also put some in my I've been doing this, and now I just heard this other guy talk about it on another podcast I was listening to, but he's like, I put money in like my drawer, like my dresser drawer. I put money in my one drawer where I keep my home defense artillery. So like there's cash in there. I don't know why, just cash looks cool next to guns, I guess. And then I have cash in another thing. Then I have a safe that might have cash in it. And then I might have some hidden somewhere else. So that way if someone, I don't know, I just think of like if someone robbed me, they wouldn't get everything. You know what I mean? They wouldn't just like, hey, let me just, oh, how easy. Let me just take this entire safe and that's everything. Yeah. You know, so that's a home defense thing for you. You got money in, they say I got money in the ceilings. You don't know, it might be buried out back.
The drywall.
Yeah, so I do that. And then also what I think about it is you don't think of, like, sure, you don't want to spend money like water, but you don't think of money as something that's so hard to attain. Because people think like, oh, I never can, like I want to make a couple bucks here and there, but I'm looking for like some big hitters now. That's what I want to try to do. Like, why not get into business stuff where I can like flip a house? Or I can get someone to give me a whole bunch of money to do something, Like I feel like that I'll be good at like working with other people's dough that maybe don't have the vision or drive that I do, or maybe they have both of those, but they realize my expertise and they go, okay, here's $25,000, make it happen. We'll do everything, but here's some money. You know what I mean? I think that's what I see for myself in my future. Like that's what I want to see for myself in my mind's eye is I want to see, making a big deal of some sort. I don't know what, it could be fucking selling some idea I come up with or whatever, but I want to make some big deal that brings me, a bunch of money. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I feel like now they made the connotation like, no, why do you want to go after money? Because they act like every rich person is Scrooge McDuck. Everyone who's ever gotten money is a fucking piece of shit for having money, and because you don't, we should help out other people. And it's like maybe that's why I got into like being a capitalist, which I don't think is all right, but like everything is good about it. And I think there are social programs like healthcare and stuff that I think it should be a human. Like I don't think your healthcare has to do with your fucking job, And if you don't have a job that provides you healthcare, like you have to pay out the ass for it. I pay like $700 a month for insurance.
That's insane.
Yeah,
that's insane.
I own my own business and I have employees and I stimulate the economy, but no, Zach, fuck you.
And what's crazy?
You're the asshole. You pay for it. But someone who has 1 million kids and doesn't have a job and is a piece of shit, you can have it for free.
The other crazy thing is I've worked 1 million jobs, and out of 1 million, 2 of them had good insurance.
Exactly. Exactly.
And they were great. I mean, like even the post office insurance, that was a government job. And when you went in there, they give you partial. So you don't even get really insurance. And that's the post office.
I pay almost, I pay less, $350, $400, maybe around that, almost $1,000, closer to 1,000 than it is to 0. I pay for insurance. And when I go to the doctor, I still get a fucking bill. Yeah. And I have good insurance. I pay for the best insurance we could possibly get. And I have dental now, which I got to go to the dentist. Dude, and before at my job, I didn't even have dental. Like I had it for 2 weeks and they come in and they go, hey, just so you know, insurance getting a little bit cheaper. I'm like, wow, that's cool. This job might be looking good. And they're like, and the only reason is because we're dropping dental. If you want to pay for it, it's going to be this $40 a month.
Or they go, you either get vision or dental. What's more important to you, your teeth or your eyes?
Knock my teeth out. I like to see. You know what I mean?
Pick one.
Unbelievable. That's what I think could be a social program, but that's why I got into it, is because people think nowadays like they look down on anyone who has money. Like I've literally been with people that I went by like a rich home and like people would be like, look at these rich pricks. Listen, instead of saying, look at these rich pricks, why don't you look at the loser in the fucking mirror that you are, because you're not even trying. What do you want it for free? Get a job. Get to work. Get a
job, you bum.
I mean, seriously, though, it's as simple as that to me. Like, and when I hear guys go on TV and talk about like how other super successful rich people like started off living in like Louisiana in like a fucking hut and they somehow made it. Well, you think they were just lucky? No, they fucking work hard.
Yeah,
that's
those are my favorite
man.
Stories.
That's it. That's it. Some people get dumb lucky and you could be mad at them for like, oh, this guy's parents had money. But okay, so what? If I get a bunch of money, I'm not going to make it easy for my kid?
It's funny, in high school, there was a couple kids who would like shit on somebody for having money. And I might even have done it. I
did it too, because I was poor as shit. I didn't realize till I got older.
And then when you get older, you're like, all right, well, if I had kids and I had a shitload of money, I would want to raise them into what I'm doing, which is making a shitload of money and running a business. Yeah. Now, not every parent does that, but looking back on it, I was like, oh, yeah, that's just the situation they're in.
Yeah, what do you think was his fault?
You think Conor McGregor's kids are going to grow up the way he did?
Yeah.
He grew up as a poor plumber.
What do you think it's their fault?
No,
do we blame them?
Not at all.
That's just why the whole that's why the whole, to me as a kid, the whole racism argument never worked. Like when I hear like old people that I know like being racist, I would be like, guys, so, all right, so you chose to be born here? Where were you born? Well, I was born in Germany. Well, you chose to be born in Germany? Well, no, well, you came to America, didn't you, fucking idiot? You think anyone who was born a certain color or area or whatever wanted to be born? You don't have a choice, dude. Wake the fuck up. The Matrix put you there for a reason. You know, you can't be like, oh, well, that's why that, to me, the argument was moot. It was never like, how could you even do that? You don't even get to, you're just born where you're born. That's why with the people that, all these people now that are in government just constantly shit on America, it's like, whoa, hold on a second. You guys have no idea how good you got it. Literally in the worst, they claimed the worst of times ever in history, coronavirus, crashing economy. I'm doing great. And I almost feel bad about it sometimes because of the way they want you to look at a rich person, you know? And it sucks. Because I got a lot of friends that are rich and I got a lot of friends that are broke, and I've never been rich. I'm doing the best I ever had working on my own and doing my own thing with working all the people I've been working with. But I've been like bottom of the barrel broke. Like, and my parents could have come and saved my ass, but they didn't. Because I didn't let them, number one, and I also didn't want them to. You know, and when I act like I had it bad, I didn't have it bad at all, comparable to what people have it. And that's why I don't really, like, people are like, you got an awesome story. Yeah, it is, but it's the American dream. It's like you know, I screwed up a bunch of stuff. I still got a college degree. I slept on my floor in the back of my business because I wanted to. You know, I didn't do it because I had to. That's when people are like, oh, I have to, you know, guys that are in my situation be like, I got to get up and, you know, go to the gym today. You don't got to go to the gym. That was an old, like, Zach's Corner number 2 is you don't have to do anything. You get to go to the gym. You get to do a podcast today. You get to fucking, you know, smoke bongs all day or whatever it is that you do, you know? But if you do that, you just better make sure whatever you're doing is bringing you something for it. Either in your mind, your body, or your fucking pocketbooks. I just listen to that book, and it explains, like, you know, maybe you don't believe that, but it explains there's nothing wrong with wanting to make money and make things easier for yourself in your life. I want to enjoy things. I want to enjoy my life and my family and get healthier and do all that shit. So
sometimes I look
there's
at
nothing wrong with that.
Sometimes I look at how fast I got here, and I don't mean it in, you know, the work was hard, it was long, people died, like it's a long fucking road, but it's like that. And it's like when that happens again, and that I'm there again, I don't want to be where I'm at now. I want to be like what we always talk about is like, you're like, I want a place in Vermont. And I was like, yeah, man, I'd like
Don't give away that. No. There's a lot of land up there.
Yeah, but it's like, you know, I want to have multiple places. You know, I was like, you could easily be Airbnb down at the beach. You could be Airbnb down at a lake house. And it's like, when I wake up from all this hard work in 10 years, I definitely don't want to still be here doing this in this basement. I want to be having a warehouse with the ammo going on and all this stuff going on, and everything we talk about is on a level times 10 now. And I'm like, hey man, I'm going to the beach house. That's what I want. That's what's in my front.
And chasing money, but I'm chasing that dream of stuff, and it's not just about money. Just money just brings you those things. So,
I'm chasing the peace of mind moment where I'm looking out over a fucking mountain going, whew, man, that was worth it.
Yeah, but just remember this, though. It's another thing is like, yeah, it was worth it, but like once you get there, then what? You know what I mean? So you have to, like, that's why I said like the here and now, like, you know, that's why that one podcast where he's like, well, just when I do this and then I'll do that. And then when I do this and I do that, like, sure, I want all those things, but remembering like, yeah, you got to remember the journey and all that stuff. And you have to see it for yourself or you never get it. But also too, like, you're like, well, I'll just start doing this when you're doing this now. You're like, I'll just start doing this when I'm, oh, wait, you are this. You're already there.
Yeah.
You don't have to, like, the guys are like, well, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do, dude, you already are that. Do it. Just fucking do it.
Yeah.
You know, because I know a lot of people, man, I'm telling you, and I'm sticking with, I'm never going to let these people go, but I know a lot of people I work with that just need that little extra push. And then once they do, it's going to benefit me, obviously, because I like working with them, but for themselves, man, it's going to be next level. It's crazy. But yeah, that's what I'm looking into now, man. I'm trying to get back on that positive tip. I'm done spray painting cars downtown or whatever I was doing for a while with Project Mayhem. And we're going to transition into more healthier things.
It's important to go through Project Mayhem.
Yeah, but, you know, we can always listen. The fast is we could be back on the block just like that. You know, just be out on your ass as fast as one person makes a stupid mistake. So I'm going to stay diligent with my stuff, just keep working hard, stay disciplined, respect the game, and then just, you know, see that shit for myself in my future. You know, I really feel like I can do it. So now I believe in myself now more than I ever have. You know, like I had to tell myself doing jiu-jitsu, you know, when I signed up for like 4 tournaments in a row when I was like a purple belt or whatever. And like I'd already done MMA fights, but I never like lived the life 100%. Like I lived with my parents, then, you know, I wasn't training 100%, but then I was living at the school and just competing every weekend. And like I was getting nervous and I was like, oh, my reputation, blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, you know what, dude, I don't have to say, like, if I'm going to go out there and tell people, like, what do you do for a living? I'm like, I'm a jiu-jitsu fighter. I'm a jiu-jitsu instructor or coach or I'm a business owner, whatever. I have to be that thing. So let me just allow myself to be that thing. You know, like a lot of guys, like I have guys hitting me up right now a lot. Like, I want to do a fight, man. Get me a fight. Dude, you're not there yet. You're not that thing. You in your mind, you think you are, but that's the difference between just seeing things for yourself. You actually have to do the work, and you can't jump it. You can't, unless you're going to be the elite level type person. But even that person has went through a lot of trials and tribulations. They didn't just show up like that. Like, you know, all that UFC fighters all have done stuff previous to that. So, you know, I'm telling like my guys who listen to this, dude, just take your time. There's no rush. But allow yourself to be that thing. You're not even that thing. You want to go from 0 to a pro MMA fight. It's not going to work. Be that thing. Be the jiu-jitsu fighter. Be the guy who sleeps, you know, on his parents' couch and doesn't have a place and just puts all their money into going to tournaments. Travel. Dude, I used to travel to Florida, you know, Delaware, sleep on floors, sleep on the mat, train, compete. You got to do all that stuff. You got to pay your dues just like everybody else. But that's the believe it for yourself and keep thinking you can do it. Like if you want to believe you can knock out Conor McGregor, great. But you're still going to have to put the work in, you know, so you can't jump it. Get the experience you need. And speaking of knocking out Conor McGregor, check these bad boys out. Got these in from handcrafted with pride, it says in here. That's pretty sick on the inside part right there. See that? But these are from Rival. Ricky is basically like our he's a pro boxer, Ricky Nuno. And he's been on my podcast at home before, and or the Zach, maybe he was on Zach's, maybe he was on the Finishers podcast back in the day. But he got me into these. He told me about Rival, so I wanted to check them out. And like we were saying, we're doing a podcast. I'm like, last week was, what did I have last week? The Surthrival stuff. Yeah. The elk antler. People are like, you're on elk antler. Yeah. I'm on everything. No, I'm just kidding. And but like these got a different, like a little strap. The strap is a little different. Like here, like Ricky is like,
they feel good too.
Yeah, they're 10 ounces and they're for like hitting the mitts. So I got them because I hit the mitts once with Ricky, and then last week there was a snow, and then I was waiting for these to come in because my hands are brittle nowadays. So I got one hard right to KO you. If not, I'm getting KO'd. But because my hand will break in half. Hands. Yeah, that's why I got these though. And then I got some new hand wraps, and then they sent me some shout out to, so check out RFX. These RFX Guerrero, these are the Cyber Edition. They got some new shock thing that they're doing, but these are like, if you can see, these are like the where the hell? Oh yeah, the Matrix gloves. See that shit? They're like Enter the Matrix. That's how.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, bad. They're bag. They say they're bag gloves. They're good for hitting the bag or hitting the mitts. You know, so Ricky's, like I said, working mitts. Dude, the new spot's going to have a whole bunch of bags. I'm working on all types of stuff, talking with Patrick from Fuji. So if anybody's looking for mats, let me know. Rash guards, all that stuff. Like, we got the hookups. Like, so, and we're going to keep, dude, I'll keep putting stuff up, and we'll put this in the little tagline, like Rival. If anybody wants anything, we get a little bit of a discount. So hit me up and I'll hook you up. But
yeah, I got a discount getting the gloves.
Yeah, for Fuji.
Yeah, they were on sale, and I was able to use the discount, so I ended up paying like under $40 for the gloves. It was
Fuji's got a lot of good. Yeah, Fuji has a lot of good stuff. We might actually take our talents to one company in the future and just deal with one company, and they're going to handle a whole bunch of stuff for us. So that's the next level. It's like guaranteed, you know, money coming in. And it's a really great company, and you know, I already love working with them, so I can't wait to do something like that. And I just like making these deals. And then, you know, if a year it doesn't work, we go another route. But I mean, honestly, dude, like I'm just, like I said, I'm just really excited about everything and just thankful for everybody. You know, now people are sending us free stuff to like try out and everything. So I'll be hitting the mitts with these. I'm sure I'll get a video eventually once I don't look like once I don't look like dog shit in there hitting the mitts anymore, even though I feel like I felt pretty good towards the end, but I just need a lot of work. Oh, they also sent me shoes too. I didn't bring those, but they also sent me some shoes because I was talking to the guy and I was like, my from pivoting on my foot, yeah, I'm being a complete softy here, but from pivoting on my foot,
getting old.
Yeah, from pivoting on my foot a billion times, throwing everything I have in the right hands, my foot got like all the ball of my foot, and this isn't just from now, and it was sore and it went away and I was being a pussy. I've had this problem for a long time. It's right at where my toe and the base of your foot, like that connection there, and that's when they're like, a wide receiver, oh, he got turf toe, what a pussy. I'm like, dude, you have no idea what it's like to have that part injured. Like if your feet are not taped and like stuffed into a shoe, if someone like stamps on it or you like stub your toe, it's some of the worst pain ever, dude. It cripples you. You're just like, my foot, fuck, and then you're out for a little bit. So I even back in the day for about a year, while I was fighting, Tiger Schulman used to let me wear wrestling shoes on the mat. And I was like the only guy because my foot was fucked up. I couldn't grapple. I couldn't push off of it. And it was from kicking somebody really hard in an MMA fight and not having my foot pulled back all the way, and my toe just caught it. And it didn't break it like John Jones, but it just like pushed it in. And ever since then,
better if it broke.
Yeah, exactly. Cut that shit off.
Take it.
I need it. But yeah, so I got some shoes. I'm going to try those out too. But so check out Rival Boxing. Like I said, hit us up at the new school too. We're going to require a lot of people, certain classes, you need certain stuff. You're not just going to be able to take kickboxing class, intermediate level kickboxing without shin pads. You need hand wraps, gloves, shin pads, mouthpiece. That's protective equipment. You're not going to go to fucking baseball and be out in right field trying to catch a ball with your bare hands or a fucking oven mitt. Like, get the right shit.
A good thing though. It'll all be in the general store in the lobby.
Exactly. Yeah, I'll have we already got shin pads now if anyone needs them. They're 40, 50, 60 bucks or something. But listen, it sounds expensive, but if you buy those, you're protecting your weapons. You want to protect your shins, protect your hands. Don't buy, I'll just buy Walmart ones. We're not even going to allow that. You have to have gloves that are like from a good thing or from us, or we're not going to allow it because you're wearing fucking Dick's Sporting Goods, like Everlast gloves. You're going to hurt yourself, man. You're going to hurt yourself. Let me see if I had anything else on the list. Shout out to Cruz Combat. It's my sponsor. If you're looking for anything custom, and like I said, we're going to be doing a lot of work with them too. So if you're looking for anything custom, get that shit. Talked about The Secret. Talked about the Stoics. Felt like that was a good one. Armbar Club, shout out to Ted. He just did a new design for us with the PA, like Pennsylvania logo. And we should have all of our other rash guards real soon. Rash guard shorts, you can go on shopfinishers.com, check that out. Super Bowl was whack. I didn't watch a lot of it, but I'm kind of glad Tom Brady won now just because people are mad at him for some reason.
Absolutely. I think it's great that he just left the Patriots and was like, nah, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah,
and then won.
And you know what? A lot of people I know were talking shit about the Super Bowl. Like, obviously, they don't really watch sports anymore. Yeah, it kind of always blows. But you know what? I watched like a couple minutes of it. It didn't seem that bad. They had a lot of stuff that I thought was borderline they were going to get in trouble for like anti, whatever stuff, because they were on there talking about, they had that one commercial that was like talking about how big, like it was like they were acting like it was about the guy's dick, but it was like talking about something else, like their portfolio. He's like, what do you mean? You never seen my portfolio? It's huge. And it's like him and a woman and another woman talking about it. And I thought for sure, like, whoa, that's, I'm surprised the media let that slide. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because it's tough. You can't be too manly. You can't make jokes about sexual jokes. In the office space, I want to speak to HR immediately, The fuck, so it's weird. Like, but like, there was a woman that was an actual woman that was the referee.
Yep.
That was cool.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that, and I'm not trying to be some white knight, but I like when women get opportunities. She looked like she sucked just as bad as all the other refs. So I was like, hey, perfect. She fits right in, throwing flags nonstop. And that's why I stopped watching the game, because in like, I think it was like the second quarter, I missed the kickoff. And then I watched like a little bit of the second quarter. I was going back and forth. And I was like, all right, I want to see the halftime show. Because you always got to see what type of Illuminati devil type shit they push into the halftime show. They didn't this year. I have an opinion on that. But, they it was every play was a friggin' flag. Yeah. And I was like, dude, it took 25 minutes to do 3 minutes. I was like, I'm out on this. I can't watch it. Check back in at the Super Bowl halftime show. People are complaining about that. Dude,
that dude put his own money into that show.
Right. No one looked into it before you made a bunch of dumb comments about it. And really what it was is that dude put money into the show.
$7 million.
And he was because he lost sponsors because he was saying that Hollywood is pushing that because of the Kardashians and people need to get plastic surgery. So he put himself on Instagram looking like a weirdo.
Yeah, he did
try
that.
to bring
he did that like almost a year in advance. He was working at this whole thing leading up to the Super Bowl.
Performance art is what you call it. But people didn't like that because they thought he was calling out Hollywood. Yeah. And a lot of people in Hollywood didn't like it.
And that's why they all had the face masks because they were all supposed to be versions of him.
Exactly. And it's a version of someone what they think you should be doing when you're in Hollywood. And then on top of that, I feel like they made his, because they're like, it sucked, you couldn't hear him the whole nine. And I feel like he was saying there was a conspiracy that they just were lowering his mic and like fucking with his shit. So that way it wasn't like up to par.
Yeah. I don't mind his music or whatever.
I didn't know he had all those songs. And like, dude, The Weeknd.
They're all hits, man.
Yeah.
I thought fucking huge.
I thought The Weeknd was like 3 dudes, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
I wish it was.
Yeah. I didn't know.
Someone kept, my buddy Jared kept going, who's this? And I go, The Weeknd. He's like, that's his name? I'm like, yeah, man, it's The Weeknd. He's like, what?
Well, even though it's not his song, the whole time, shout out to Mac Miller, the whole time I just had Everything Be Good by The Weeknd. I just kept thinking of that the whole time.
I need to get back into Mac Miller.
Yeah, dude, I always go back and forth to him, dude.
His old stuff. So
my
good.
new freestyle that I keep listening to is
Brick by Brick.
Yeah, it's Fred the Godson. Go on search Funkmaster Flex Fred the Godson. His flow is nice. Like Fred the Godson's a beast, but he's got a guy with him that just goes. He doesn't rap, I don't think. He just screams shit out. He goes, before Trump gets us reported and everybody gets deported, Poppy, another brick, please. Ha! Another brick, please. Yeah, I said it. Another brick, please. It's like it's back like exactly what I was talking about. Your hype guy in the middle.
Yeah.
Like Swizz Beatz would do that shit. You know, like if Cassidy.
Rough Riders always had something like that. They all did.
Yeah, but when Cassidy first came out, when he would get stuck, like, or he would be like, ready to say something, then like Swizz Beatz, or he would kind of like start flustering. Swizz Beatz would jump in and be like, from the top to the bottom, from the top to the bottom. And then he would like catch his, he would get back to in the flow. And then he would then Swizz Beatz would be like, and then he would just come back in and start rapping again. I was like, damn.
I think Diddy did that shit the best.
I like that because it's like two guys going, one guy's rapping, but the other guy has to flow off that dude.
Yeah.
He's got to be like, it's two people making music, man. I think it's fucking cool. That's why I always like it. Yeah. Yeah, but I'm talking about like just they play a beat and like a dude is just rapping and another guy is like trying to just make sure you keep going. You know? Yeah. That's the Tony Yayo. He never rapped very good, but he would just come in and be like, yo, 50, you need some help? Chill, Yayo, I got this. That's basically like, yo, just get back, dude. Shut up, Yayo.
Yeah, Body with Action Bronson.
Yeah, same guy. Yeah, Big Body. Also, I met Body. I told you that, right?
He rules.
I met Big Body in Vegas one time. I was walking around real late at night, and him and what's his name? The Alchemist. They were at craps tables, and I didn't want to. When someone's playing craps, you don't want to go up there and take because I didn't get a picture with them. I just walked up and I saw they were playing craps, and then when he went to go grab a drink, and then he came back and they were smoking a cigar or whatever, and I was like, "Hey, what's up, Big Body?" And he just gave me the pound.
That's what you do with those guys. Like, you keep it short, keep moving.
Yeah, I don't want to. I didn't want to like, dude. If I like got in there and then they rolled something and lost, and they'd be like, "What the fuck, dude? Like, get out of here!" Like, yo, can I get a picture with you? Like, dude, how about JM? One time he saw a guy try to get a picture with Kevin Hart in the bathroom at LAX. Like, hey man, can I get a picture? He's like, I think he might have said something funny, like, I just took a piss. So
yeah, it's crazy that people bother people like that in the shitter.
Yeah, even like we were talking about, we saw like speaking of UFC, and then I got to get going, but Frankie Edgar got fucked up. You saw that?
Yeah, I didn't. We sat down and I was adjusting my chair and looked up and the round was over.
It's a young man's game, dude. They're coming out with some shit where that used to be like a flash in the pan. Now guys are setting up, and they've been doing it. They set up that flying knee where he walked him right into that. He was circling, and then when Frankie turned, like he looked like he got too close and he was already in his face with that knee. So that was fucking money, dude. Sanderhagen. Corey Sanderhagen.
Yeah.
That sounds racist. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, that guy's the man. Frankie Edgar's a man too. He's got heart. He's a beast. Always fought up in weight. A lot of the Frankie Edgar, butt huggers. I was happy to like have those guys shut the fuck up for a little bit. But either way though, dude, it's just business. I feel bad. Anybody gets KO'd like that. That's bad news.
Yeah. Unless you're Ben Askren.
Yeah, exactly. He should be fighting. Frankie Edgar should be fighting other legends, like Jens Pulver and like old.
He said he's not done.
Shit.
He's like, this is the game.
Not done. Yeah,
he's
I know
like,
that. Yeah, he's taking it well. I mean, he's a fighter. He's a wrestler. He lost 1 million matches. It sucks to get KO'd like that just later in your career. It's tough. You don't want to see him go out like Liddell and just getting KO'd all the time. It sucks. But hey, he's got to make money.
BJ Penn's the worst example.
But yeah, and those guys like they kind of let themselves go towards the end.
Yeah.
So I don't know. What was I going to say about that UFC? Frankie Edgar. Why was I transitioning to that? No idea. UFC's the man though, so there's more coming up.
Usman Burns.
Yeah, that should be a good fight. So there's a lot of good fights.
Did you see the Diaz interview?
No.
He brought up a bunch of weed stuff. It was funny. Then he started smoking a blunt, and you could just tell he was high. And he was like, "Yo, Ariel." He's like, "Remember when I saw you after that one fight?" And I was like, "I can't believe they let you in here." Ariel Hawani was like, "Yeah," and he just goes, "I was so high." He goes, "Then I realized how high I was," and he goes, "I had to get out of there." Like you could tell he was getting high.
Yeah,
like he was high during the interview, and like it just started getting funny.
Yeah. Oh, also finisher sub only is gonna be coming back, but make sure you check out the high rollers. One of our guys, Renee Sousa, was out there with Charlie Livingston from D's Pickles. And, they both did great. Renee ended up getting second, beat top 3 black belts. Renee's killing it, man. So he's got so much potential to keep going, and he is, man. He's a really smart kid. So, teaching a kids class yesterday, like 50 kids in it. So shout out to Renee.
I saw that.
And he only lost to, one of the guys that actually got his black belt from me and JM, because we jumped him into the game from 10 Planet Long Island, Steve Caston. And Steve's a beast. He's got a lot of experience, so no harm from Renee losing to him. I mean, it's basically a finisher's final right there. Like, Long Island and Renee, I don't know if they ever rolled together, but Steve's a beast. Renee's a beast. All the guys were out there from the Long Island squad. And, Eddie Bravo's out there coaching and stuff. The high roller is a cool event, man. Those guys
looked awesome.
Right. Wiz Khalifa was out there chilling and shit. So
it looked like
if
a really
I was
cool
still
event.
competing, that would be my, I'd be the king. I love to, I said this before, and I got a lot of respect for, just watching Jeff Glover grow up, growing up watching BJJ videos. Him and Bill Cooper, always been a big fan. But if I did do one more match, I'd love to do a high rollers main event, me versus Jeff Glover, the weed smoking champion of the world. Like, he's the title holder right now. I feel like I've staked my claim in the fact that I've gotten to a high level in jiu-jitsu. I face some of the best, and I've also staked my claim where I feel like I could take way more bong hits and eat more edibles than most people and still be able to comprehend class. So I've taken 150 milligrams and went through Eddie Bravo's warm-ups while Eddie Bravo is hovering over me, doing the warm-ups in front of him with a guy that I don't normally train with, and making still look good and still messing up, but messing up not as bad as most people would, just being nervous. And I was kicked out of my gourd. And I was like, and they're like, "Yo, here, eat this." Oh, that was 300 milligrams. I just took a huge bite, you dummy. That's why the back of the thing, and this is what I'll leave you guys with, and this is, if you listen to anything I ever say, listen to this. You can always take more, but you can't take any less. Amen. Peace.
I believe it.